Ed Sherman of California. Nice to talk to you, sir.
Good to be with you, Greta, and thrilled that you've moved from Fox to MSNBC, and I know the country won't be far behind.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I'm very happy to be here. All right, now this whole, I assume you've just heard my conversation with Ken, right, and this whole issue. Do you have any problem with Reince Priebus if an FBI agent comes up and says that there was a story in the New York Times that was either quite explosive, saying that the campaign was having conversations or communications with Russian intelligence? Do you have any problem with Reince Priebus wanting to sort of correct that?
Well, I have a problem with the FBI talking to the White House about this. I have a problem with the White House talking to the FBI about this. We shouldn't have leaks. We shouldn't have pressure. We should just let the FBI do its job and do it quietly. And I'm not trying to protect Reince Priebus, but I'm trying to think, so the FBI shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have made the statement originally, and I agree with you on that. Of course, New York Times should have gotten it straight in the beginning as well, or CNN. I mean, we've got, they should have gotten it right too, assuming that all these stories are now incorrect or exaggerated. You agree with that? Yeah, I think the real issue here is whether the Trump campaign was in touch with Russians and co-conspiring in the cyber burglary of the DNC. That's why I asked Attorney General Loretta Lynch last month to set up a special prosecutor before the change of administrations. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and we're going to have to see what investigation can take place at the present time.
And that's a different issue than the one we're talking about today, but it's an important one. That predates the inauguration. That's something different. A whole investigation as to what happened last fall and late last summer in terms of any hacking of the DNC or any communications between any campaigns and Russian officials, intelligence, or whatever. That's a separate important investigation.
I think it's the same in the sense that what the FBI was talking to Priebus about was their investigation of pre-election contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials, Russian intelligence, whatever. And if that contact was there and they were conspiring to use the fruits of the cyber burglary of the DNC, that could be a high crime or a misdemeanor.
All right. What if there's no contact at all, and this is an investigation and one that we need to have so that people are satisfied that we have integrity of the system, but the FBI, and the FBI sees it sort of going a little bit, not a little bit, but going astray in the New York Times with this exaggerated thing saying Russian intelligence, which is a lot different than just a Russian intelligence. Would you not think that if that were sort of dumped in the lap of Reince Priebus that he would want to correct that immediately and not sort of let it spend years sort of drifting its way through Washington?
There are a lot of things I want to do, but I have to live by the rules. And the rules are and should be the White House doesn't push the FBI doesn't reveal things or talk to the White House, and we just let the investigation go forward. And what we have to do is take a look at what contacts there may have been. I'm particularly concerned with the 35-page dossier. Now, it was put out by a former British spy that was being paid by Trump's enemies. So you take it with a grain of salt, but part of it has been validated. And to see whether or not Trump sent his lawyer to confer with the Russians in Prague. His lawyer has published only the front of his passport, as if that would prove that he hadn't been in Prague at the relevant time. So we've got a lot of investigating to do. But if Trump and his campaign were conspiring with the Russians to make use of the theft of DNC files, Watergate was the theft of DNC files too. Back then, files were in manila folders. Now they're on computers.
Okay. Just so we're square, I'm totally with you that we need an aggressive, thorough investigation about what did and did not happen last fall. And I wish that we could do this a lot faster, very thorough, very complete, and not with any sort of funny business at all. I think that would be good for everybody.
Absolutely.
Anyway, Congressman, thank you. Hope you'll come back.
Good to be with you, Greta.
Still ahead, former